reached that time, so I'll call the meeting to order. I'm the president, Mike Snap, and I'll introduce everybody, let everybody else introduce themselves soon. Just a couple things. The last meeting we had in December did not have a quorum, so the vote at that meeting pursuant to the Maryland Code, that this meeting then would automatically constitute a quorum, regardless of how many. So this will actually be a meeting of record. So just to let you know, that's kind of a quirk in the system. But it was done that way because oftentimes associations have problems reaching quorums, and depending on what the agenda is and so forth. So this way it provided a mechanism that we could always get official meetings conducted. So that's the reason, the rationale for that. So that means that our last official meeting minutes were actually last June, that we actually had a quorum and constituted an official meeting. September, I'm sorry. And those minutes are included here. So I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them. I don't think there was anything unusual about it, but I will need a motion to approve the minutes or to discuss them. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second? Do we have a second? Okay. Second. All in favor, raise your hands. All opposed? Okay. And reminder too that we have one vote per household. So if I had to count officially, I'd have to throw somebody out. But I won't.
I'll get from that.
So, first I'd like to have the board introduce themselves. As I said, I'm Mike Snap. I'm the president this year. I think this is the last year that I'm the president for a while, hopefully. No.
We didn't vote on that thing.
I know.
Yeah. No, that's not happening.
So we'll start off with Rhea, our manager.
I'm Maria. I'm the association manager.
She's the one you get your bills from and you pay. So she's important. And she also keeps the rest of us in check. So. Watch it.
I'm Asha Andreas. I'm on the welcoming committee.
Jack Andre, I'm the treasurer.
Tony Spakowskis, vice president.
Bonnie Blaze, secretary.
Jenny Rice, I'm on the environmental committee.
Mike Chaconis, I'm just here.
And we have a couple board members who are not here either due to health reasons or one person was out of town. So, but we do have a majority of the board here. Okay. As far as remarks, I don't really have anything new. We'll cover a couple things on down the road here. I think we've got a good agenda. We'll start off with Sal Acada, who's going to talk about the Osprey Festival, and that's going to be a real neat event again this year. So we'll talk about that. We'll get reports from the various committees, and then we'll open it up to the floor for any questions or discussion. Sal, do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Sure. My name is Sal Ikata. I'm also a road volunteer person, whatever it is, my title's also. I'm proud of that. And I'm happy and pleased to bring to you once again the Maryland Osprey Nature Festival, which is going to take place on Saturday, March the 11th. So please mark that calendar.
No, today is.
It's April
today's
1st.
meeting.
I'm sorry,
April.
April 1st. I'm reading off of that. April 1st. And I'm going to go a little more in detail on that. So before I get going, I want to introduce a short video that we took last year to kind of give you a flavor of what happened last year. I think it was really neat. From that video, so
3 minutes.
This is timely because the Ospreys are back.
back early.
Yeah. Last year was our first year.
And then you might hear them getting upset with each other, and somebody's just coming up with territory.
The winner of this meaningful contribution to the community is Mr. Chris Hoffman.
You don't have more bird pictures? Those are awesome.
How many, just a head count, how many people were here last year for the festival? So we expect quite a bit more this year, because the word has just gotten out. So, so we have to prepare accordingly. So the event has changed format a little bit. And so now we're gonna start Osprey Week, we're gonna start with a free lecture series on Thursday, March the 30th at 6:45 p.m. here. It's going to be free to, it's going to be open. So I want to make sure that everybody gets to attend. Mr. Greg Kearns, who is the utmost authority on ospreys and osprey migration in the entire Mid-Atlantic, is going to be here. So it should be a great lecture series. Followed by Friday, we're going to have the concert, which is Deanna Duff. It's going to be here on Friday evening as well. So one of the things that we found out the first year was that once the speaker started talking here and they saw an eagle outside, everybody took off with the eagle. So we have to separate it a little bit from that. So this year again, it's on April the 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is an admission fee, as you can see in there. To make it easier for DPPOA residents, we also have a bus that's going to be new this year. That's going to make 4 stops. So everybody that can come, make it available for everybody to attend. And here are the spots where the bus is going to stop. It's not going to be a parking area, but it's just going to be a bus stop. People can walk to it. And the bus is going to make circles around the neighborhood on that day. So there's no reason why people couldn't come here in the neighborhood. So I highly encourage you to attend. Go ahead for the next one. Any questions so far?
Just looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, and why don't you tell everyone where the money goes? Because
Right.
a lot of the money goes for these organizations that do rehabilitation for these osprey and other birds.
That's a great point. So all our money goes to facilities that rehabilitate injured wildlife. We do not have a place in Southern Maryland that is federally or state licensed to say if you have an eagle or an osprey that's injured, there's nowhere for them to go. So somebody has to come from Montgomery County to pick them up and transport them. So that's where our money went last year. We donated $3,000. For a first year event, that's not bad. So we're hoping to break even, because it was overwhelming the amount of people we had. So that's where the money's going. This year, we're going to separate. That's why it has to be bigger and more, because now we have other people asking for donations as well. We have another Raptor Center that's similar to Al Moon, that's the Phoenix Rehabilitation Center, and Calvary Nature Society as well. They had a fire at one of the places that destroyed their their habitat, and an owl was killed, and a lot of the everyone was gone, so we're gonna help raise funds for them as well, so. This is completely volunteer work, so there's no, you won't see any administration costs involved at all, so all the money goes back, it's back to the festival, so it's for a great cause, so we appreciate everybody's help, that can help us out with that. So, any more questions?
Well, then,
Yes?
beautiful book up here on ospreys, with the author's name is Sal. Is that available for purchase?
That
Will
is,
it be available at the festival, or?
I made the mistake of ordering only 50 books. So the answer to that is that I have a few available right now. So I'll have like 10 available or something like that, give or take a few, if that. So if you would like a book, just see me afterwards. I can come here with the intent of selling the book, but
No, I know, but it was such a beautiful, might be
it's
interesting.
111 pages, laid flat. I think it's pretty well done. And it's every bird picture that was taken, that's in the book, was taken within half a mile radius at most. So it's all taken in the neighborhood, and there's a lot of good neighborhood shots as well in there. So, so what I'm going to do, what's that?
Part of the books.
Yeah, and part of the proceeds goes back to the festival as well. So another way to raise money for that. So if anybody has any, you asked about some bird pictures.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So there's some of the pictures that are going to be in there.
And do you need any additional volunteers for the festival?
So yes, so please volunteers, I know we put out newsletters, but we really could use help volunteering on that day. The parking, there's no parking going to be allowed here, so you need to take a shuttle or ride your bike like a lot of people did, or just walk or catch a ride from a friend, because it's just limited parking, so there's no other way to do this. So our biggest expenses have been buses, but it's well worth it. So these are some of the pictures, not all of them that made it into the book.
You took all those pictures?
I did. I took all those pictures. So I'm a weird guy that some people see in the neighborhood.
You're one of the weird guys.
Yeah.
You take pictures.
So I went around and again, all those were taken here on the work purchase. So they were either
Fish.
Drum Point, out there by Tony's house, out there, right in front, over there. So,
Come on now.
you notice that the ospreys, the way they hold their fish in an aerodynamic way, that's so they can get out with a big fish and get going, as opposed to the eagle, which the eagle hides it a little bit. So that's a drum lake in February 2 years ago. It's on the back there. So that tree is right at the. What's the corner? Right on the beach. You guys can see those, if you walk around, so see those talons over there in that picture. So it's a lot. Female funnel, looking at us to say, is it ever going to stop snowing and raining that day? which was raining today, so. I'm not sure who fed this one, but they got up close, and I've never heard of one being attacked by a heron, but
Well, there's one that walks on the
I didn't want to
beach.
take any chances
Has
on
anybody
that.
had interactions with him? The blue heron, he walks out here.
So that's what the full osprey looks like.
It's in the lake.
That's in Drum Lake. That one I can help with them.
That face.
Look on the
Fish
fish.
is carrying that bird. Yeah, that's impressive.
Now look at this one. They may expect to be picked up by an osprey or an eagle, but not a gull.
That's probably why you can't catch any fish, the birds got involved.
This bad boy has, and I said voice to boy because I can tell the difference. Has two fish there.
Oh, yeah.
female, it's a female where it has spots on there, close to the male osprey that does not have a spot. Yeah, so it's just kind of a necklace. This is a ballerina fish. And they don't discriminate on the type of fish that they pick up, so whatever's available.
Those are just fantastic for us.
If you've never seen, oh, sorry, if you've never seen a bald eagle up close, April 1st will be your chance. So and then he'll have some, I think, like last year, the red-shouldered hawk, barn
If
animal.
you get really lucky, we'll have a release into the wild, but it depends on where they are in the rehabilitation stage, so forth. So that would be awesome if we could have a release of an injured animal. So that was giving me a little bit, intimidated me a little bit. So if that's taken right in front, this one doesn't know what happened to the fish, but he's got it back there. He kept looking around, he's looking around for the fish, so
Oh, like this.
it's taken right out the corner. They say never shoot into the sun, but
If you've ever seen them fight out here, ospreys and eagles.
ospreys usually win. That one just got a little too big for his britches there. To let it go. And just that, if you ever see him die, the intensity of these things is just incredible. It's incredible how they come down here.
An osprey will submerge himself as he jumps down, where the eagle kind of does a scoop. So it's fun to watch the difference in them.
They have the little coating in their eye, they try to put it in so they don't get injured. Again, never shooting to the sunlight, but I tried it out, and it's a little pressure. Picked it up out there, so that's actually one of the favorite pictures.
What kind of camera do you use in those pictures?
It's an old system, maybe you've ever seen me out there, my lens, which is the most important part of it, it's about a 24-year-old lens, so I don't use all the fancy stuff. And it's just a matter of being patient, and a matter of learning a little bit of behavior, especially, not the eagles so much, but the ospreys and what they do. So, it's a Canon 500 millimeter lens, but it's old and it's heavy. So now the new ones are so light, people walk around with it, but they're only like $20,000 a month. So we'll have to wait on that one.
Is that the male on the right, the female on the left?
Yeah, yes, I think it's the
Female,
female,
she's got that.
and more than likely these are going to be male.
She's got
These are
two
juveniles.
boyfriends.
Juvenile.
You can tell by the orange of their eye. They're orange, and then when they get a little older, it turns yellow.
And of course the white and the ring is still.
There'll be a lot of visitors on April 1st that have an interest in protecting just what you're watching in wildlife in our area. So that's really what it's for.
I'm just a photographer, so I'm not a birder per se, but I've learned a lot about ospreys, but it's a great occurrence on Thursday. He is fantastic. I mean, he's in high demand, so I highly encourage for those that are interested in learning more about ospreys and osprey migration, especially ospreys of the rivers here. So,
He's excellent, he's very engaging.
see, somebody's asking me about kingfish.
He was greedy.
So some of the pictures made it into the
Yeah.
book, some of them didn't, and turn, catching. So needless to say, that was migration. Much time we watching Washington football games because that's one that cuts down. And this one, you can see there, we named it Finding Nemo.
That fish was huge.
Oh my God.
Just the mouth.
That's the Lusky Air Force. Awesome to see them. That's like charming.
See, I've seen him, I have pictures of him.
I think they're O'Neill. Yeah.
So who wore it better, right?
No, we didn't.
There's a big, see that heel wrapped around all the way to the tip?
Oh,
Yeah.
What kind of birds are those? Birds during the dance.
What's the name?
what are they?
Green herons, but they look blue, I know.
Yeah.
You see them on, Gum Lake.
Little one's getting his ass chewed out.
This one, I've never taken one for the first time. Kingfishers are hard to photograph, but not one but two at the same time, grabbing a snack.
They have a nest off Gum Lake on the far side.
This is a rare, this is a white pelican, which you don't see here much. This is only the second time white pelican has been photographed, documented in this area, so flying above. I didn't even know what it was until I got home. What it was, but it's a white pelican.
You see the brown ones sometimes.
This is about more than that.
That white stuff smells, you don't get that.
I wasn't sure.
That was,
Looking at pictures or,
we're right about the end.
okay.
It's right by your house.
Look at that guy hiding there.
Great picture.
They're starting to nest to give boxes.
So coming out, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and what I want people to realize is that just the beauty of the wild animals that we have, just the nature that we have all through our neighborhood. And you don't have to belong to the club to see some of the stuff that you can see from those pictures. They're all over the place, so it just takes a little time to look for them, and we live in a really, really special place, and we have to be part of it, so, thank you.
Okay, Community Beach is a good place. Sal knows a lot.
Unfortunately, I can't be here this year. Is there a way to donate? I mean, to help them?
Yes, it is. Our website is MarylandOspreyFestival.org, and we have a donate button on there as well.
I think I put a link
Yeah.
on our website, DPPOA.org, to your website to do
Right.
as well.
Yeah, and so we don't receive any of the money, we keep that separate. So we have a fiscal manager, so that we wanted to keep all that separate and apart from the festival, so it goes through Maryland Bird Conservation Commission. That's not here.
Sorry. I was pulling up the QR code for, so if anybody's familiar, you can just take your camera out and take a, and the QR code will come up right to the website, so I'll just leave that open.
And in that book, so I have pictures, wildlife pictures all over the place, but those, I'm proud to say that each and every one of those bird pictures that I have in there are from right here in Green Point, so.
Yeah, those bears are in that, if you go to the Outer Banks, there's a preserve there. Which I didn't know that we had on the East Coast until a couple of years ago, we had black bears.
Thank you very much.
Does it cost $10 for Thursday and Friday too?
No, those Thursday and Friday events are free, so donations are encouraged, but that's a great question, so I'm trying to make it,
It's up there.
so.
Okay, yeah.
So-
it's trying to look at that.
Just please be sure to attend those days. And again, we had to change the format just because we had all the speakers on Saturday, and then there were great speeches, but Baldio came out.
For the music.
The music. And this way too, you know, I've already looked at the forecast, it's supposed to be 65 and sunny. So, but just in case it's not, we've at least gotten a lot of the festival done beforehand indoors. And so that's another reason why we changed it over. So we had 400 last year. We expect maybe, I don't know, we're taking bets.
I'm saying about 6, 7.
Yeah, 600-700 seems to be the consensus of what we're going to get.
Through the day.
Yeah, so not everybody was here, 400 people at one time, but it was all through the day, so we want to keep it here as much as possible, as long as possible as we can.
There's a food truck. Is it facing that
Yeah,
way?
so we have food truck.
Rita's, Thai nice.
Food truck's going to be here on Friday night as well as Saturday. And then for the kids, actually, we we open up for adults, because
I was gonna
I
say,
like,
for
it
adults.
was my idea, because I wanted some ice cream on Saturday, so free ice cream, free Rita's Italian ice on Saturday as well. So, and as you saw from the video, it's catered to all walks of life, all ages, but the kids really have fun. We make it a special day for the kids.
There are also trails around that people can take as well.
Yeah, the Audubon Society will be here and doing walks. I think they do them every 45 minutes or so, so you can get on it at any time throughout the day. And then there's lots of exhibitors, like you saw, that you can just learn something about this area, birds and the wildlife that we live in. It's just good.
So all that's on the website, and then I could have made this a good presentation with a lot of information out there. But I encourage you to go into the website and really look at it, because there's opportunities for everyone to really enjoy themselves. And again, I wanted to make it, especially for Drum Point residents, make it as easy as possible for everyone to attend all 3 days. So
It's MarylandOspreyFestival.org, or you can do the QR code right here.
The 3 lectures on Thursday, are they just repeating the same?
it's
Or
only one on Thursday.
okay.
Thursday evening is Greg Kearns, he's doing that, and then we're gonna have some raffles, we're gonna do some other things, and some auctions as well. So that's gonna be Thursday. And on Saturday, we have 2 more speakers lined up, but they're gonna be early in the day before the Eagles come
And
out.
not the same speakers.
So,
All
Miss-
earlier.
one of them is Dr. Ralph Eshelman, and so, he was one of the person that was responsible for when the lighthouse was moved to its current location. So he has a lot of history on this area, so he's going to be a lot of history of Drum Point area as well. So
He's going to do a speech and then walk out to the site and kind of talk about that day and what happened. So those that have been long-term members, you might remember yourself. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Sal. It's gonna be a hard act to follow, I should have made them last.
Yeah, bring pictures to us.
I don't think so.
Everybody has to do a show and tell.
Right, yeah. Okay, let's go on and have, we'll get the committee reports from the different committees. I don't know if Rita or you or Sal want to talk about the road situation.
Sal, did you want to this time, or shall I?
No, just that the road work on Mill Creek side of things. They have some areas that they did some shoddy working, have been identified and marked, and they're coming back to correct. So those areas, they're going to get caught, and then they're going to be coming corrected, and there's we're getting finished putting all the gravel, all the asphalt down in some areas, and some money is on the crown as well. And so we're going to come take care of those.
And we have not been billed, nor would we pay it.
So we actually sent them a letter,
Yes.
sent them a letter stating that the work was not acceptable, and that to come out and correct this issue. So I know they've come out because they've marked the spots, and they came in to do the shoulder work as well. So they obviously have received our letter.
Yeah, that was really about the first time that we've had that much problem with them, and but we are on top of it, I hope. We'll get them to finish up.
And I would add that we still do have our list of areas where stormwater is a little bit of an issue. And Mike and Sal are going to be looking at those a little closer and making a determination and prioritizing, the jobs, and then we'll put out for bids.
Just real quick. So those areas we have not forgotten or neglected. We're working on those areas as well. So Mike and I are going to be making now that those areas have been addressed. Our issue of addressing the other side of Mill Creek. We're going to be working on those, taking care of those issues here real soon. So thank you for your patience.
Yeah, it's kind of a triage effort because we've got probably more projects, potential projects than we have. We have the money, but the biggest problem is getting people to do it. You know, it's like everybody else, you know, we're fighting getting, people to bid and do construction and repair and whatnot, so, you know, we just have to work at it a piece at a time and try to triage the most important ones. One of the things, for any of the people that are familiar with Bay Drive and the causeway down there at Lake Charming, as you come down the corner from Lake onto Bay, onto the causeway, that corner down there was washed out a couple of years ago with one of the storms. It hasn't encroached the road yet, but if we don't do something, it will. You know, one of the storms will continue washing that back into the road. So we do have that on the agenda right now. Finally got the permits, we've got a contract in place. So that work will be commencing here hopefully this spring and get that, we're basically putting in some large riprap similar to the causeway to hold that bank. So that'll
There's
protect that.
steps, you're not gonna do steps there.
Pardon me?
You're not gonna do steps there to get to the beach.
I don't know what you're referring to.
You're not gonna put steps also down.
That-
No, there's-
We
like a
don't
beach
own-
access.
We don't own that property.
I don't, you know, I'm not sure what,
Yeah, no, you're addressing where there used to be a beach access there.
Right.
Well, that beach access was based on a misinterpretation of plats. That land right there between the road and where the path would be does not belong to DPPOA. And so we can't really put a beach access on somebody else's property. It's unfortunate, but true.
well, I mean, we do have other access points. You know, further on down Bay, there's an access point. There's an access, beach access on River Terrace, just up the street here. And of course, the community beach and a few other properties, but that one's not.
I'm sure people will still walk on it, but we can't make it a beach access.
I mean, the beaches are basically public, you know, below the high water line. So if you can get to them, you know, you have free access.
That particular site that she's talking about is full of riprap and broken well rims and stuff, so
Broken, yes. Dangerous.
you can't really do it.
Right, that's not a good,
Not safe.
but there are other access points on both sides of that. So, you know, there are other places. Okay. I think that's it on the roads
I
and,
think so.
okay. Do you have any office updates?
Primarily the last, this is October, the last 3 months, I've been working on statements because I took most of December to create a new database. So when you got your statement, it might have looked a little different. I had a lot of questions from people. It's the same fees it's always been, but the statement looked different, so they were questioning it. So now, payments are coming in and I'm posting those, of course, so it's kept me pretty busy. Because I hand-entered everything into the new database. Because I wanted to, at the same time, do like an audit, make sure I had the right people on the right properties, and I did find a couple, minor mistakes, but some mistakes. So that's what I've been doing primarily the last couple of months, so it's all up and running.
Jack, how are we doing on the treasury?
Well, we're in very good shape, continue to manage very well our resources. You can see from the balance sheet, I think everybody got a copy of the one page. It shows everything that we own, all of our bank accounts, which are first ones. Then money that is being held at the county, takes special taxes to the county. But we count that as an asset. And inventory assessment, all our sources of income. And then our fixed assets is the beach, the office, all our equipment. So all that, the figure is very much like the ones you've seen in past meetings, about $718,000. Our liabilities, which match that, on the back page. All the same accounts. one thing that we do keep a close eye on is the budget that everybody voted on last year. Coming up again, we're starting to prepare next fiscal year's budget starts July 1st. So anybody that wants to help formulate the budget, basically it's just a meeting of 2 hours where we all meet at the office and go over the budget line by line. It's not quite as tedious as it sounds, but we're always looking for people from the community to sit on the finance committee to develop this. So if you are interested, let me know. She'll be keeping a list of people that we can call, find a mutually agreeable date and time. And that will be probably in April.
Can I just add something about the balance sheet before you switch? If you look at it closely, you're going to see that there are negative numbers under accounts receivable for fiscal year '24 covenants and mandatory assessment, and those are negative. And that's only because I haven't done I hadn't yet done another an entry to put that into deferred revenue, because that's where that will actually go. We don't take the revenue until the beginning of the next fiscal year. So I do an entry. If you look on the back of the sheet, you can see the amount that we've collected. Haven't posted the fees yet. You don't until the first of the fiscal year. So then when you get the money ahead like we do, it goes to deferred revenue. So that's why there's a negative number there. I just didn't make another entry yet. It would be even higher now because it's posting payments. So.
Then just a quick look at the actual budget, profit and loss budget versus actual. You can see that in every category we're well within the budget that everybody has approved last year. And really no surprises. We're right where we want to be at this time in our fiscal year, 3/4 of the way through. And I think there's really just no surprises. Just within budget. And some interesting things to look at are that we didn't have any snow this year. And moving the snow and salt is really expensive. So we saved all that this year, so we're kind of fortunate there. We haven't yet paid for the paving that was done last year, like I said, talking about. Expect to pay that. That is the one big bill that hasn't shown up yet on this budget sheet. But we do have the line items for it, and we're ready to pay for the work stuff. That's it.
Any questions? Bonnie or Jenny, do you want to talk about our environmental committee?
I'll start and then I'll hand off to Judy. As you know, the last several years we've been treating the Phragmites in various locations in the community. And we are basically in very good shape at this point. The last place at the Lake Terrace and the boat ramp had still a lot of Phragmites, and that's been treated, and the Phragmites is dead. In the past, if it was an area like the causeway where it would be an eyesore to see all this dead stuff hanging around, we removed it. But our expert, Mark Smith, says not to do that. He prefers you just to let it just fall over and die. So we're letting the current stuff, which is not on any kind of pathway to anywhere, just die off. And probably this next year we may not have to have any more spraying, so maybe this year or next year I'll be consulting with Mark in the summer. But eventually we'll have to, because you never really get rid of it. Anyway, Ginny.
Just wanted to mention the Ivy League is today from 12 to 2, and we could use some volunteers. If you're able to come out, you don't have to come out for the whole 2 hours. You can just come out and do one tree if you can, but looking for more volunteers, so.
And where is that, Jenny?
Oh, it's on Riverview.
And which side of Riverview?
Well, if you're coming from Rousby Hall, it's on the right.
So down towards the boat ramp?
What's that?
Down towards the boat ramp, or?
No, the other side of Riverview.
On the bay side of Riverview?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell them what they'd have to bring if they wanted to join.
Just wear protection, eye protection if you have it, and bring a pair of snippers and maybe a screwdriver. That's all you need to bring, so. Anyway,
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun. Good way to take out stress. Killing ivy.
it is, it's a good feeling when you get done. It
It
really
does.
is,
It
yeah,
does help.
yeah.
You're
As
choking
opposed
these,
to saving Mother Nature.
choking these trees out. So. And you can do this on your own property too. I mean, it's a smart thing to do, to get rid of this English ivy. Okay. Maggie Johnson is not here. She's our safety committee chair. Basically, I know she's been, we have a room in the office building that's basically like an emergency response room. We have radio ties to the county. We've got some emergency supplies in there and things like that. She's been inventorying all that and replacing things that need to be replaced and working with some county people to keep the radio system going. So I know that's what she's been concentrating on. And hopefully we never have to use it, but if we do, it's there and it's a way to reach out and communicate with other emergency responders and other help that we need. Okay, Rio, welcoming committee.
Thanks. Cindy Andre continues to keep our supplies full and so on. The welcoming committee, for those that you don't, are not familiar with it, was put together, I think, in 2017, 18, something like that. And area businesses donate some things. And so like we get buckets from Ace Hardware, and then Asha and Jenny and Jenna Swartwood continues, and then Susan Rourke, new board
And
member.
Cindy.
I'm sorry?
And Cindy Andre.
Well, and Cindy. Cindy buys the supplies, well, we reimburse her, but she goes out and collects supplies. And then the other four come in, and they were just there yesterday, and assemble buckets. So I pick up brochures from the Marin Museum about the area, and we do some snacks and a bottle of wine and things like that to welcome newcomers. And the whole point, at least from my perspective, is that when they come in to pick up their bucket, I send them a letter, they come in and pick up their bucket, and I can then get email addresses and good mailing addresses, because we don't always get that if somebody has a vacation house and things like that. So it's going very well. I will say that I think sales are probably less than they were last year at this time. So not handing out quite as many buckets. But it's been a good program.
I think it is. People, the feedback is that people really appreciate it.
Yeah.
They appreciate that knock on the door with a bucket and a welcome to the community. So I'm glad we're continuing to do that. We have a planning committee. Most of our effort has been focused on getting this beach project going. You know, if you're following this has been a drug out affair over a couple of years, and it just amazes me how the bureaucracy doesn't work. But we're at the point now of, we finally finished our last permit approval process with the Corps of Engineers. So we're at the process now of being able to go and finish up and getting the county, the local permits, and then beginning to actually move rock if we, as we go forward. So hopefully we'll see some progress this year. We're out of the paperwork process for the most part. I think one last permit series with the county, and that's about it. Any questions on that?
Yep, Mike, is there any kind of drawing to show what the engineering is going to look like?
Well, yeah, I've presented it in the past.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
Okay.
I think that's it as far as, okay. That's as far, I think that finishes any of our committee work. Any questions on any of that, or any of that process? Okay, yes.
I don't mean to spring this on you, but Ginny's Facebook page is it's not an association project, but it's a really wonderful asset for the community.
Okay, yeah, like Jenny Rice has started a community page on Facebook, Drum Point Neighborhood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you look at Drum Point Neighborhood, do a search, if you're a Facebook person, do a search on that, and that's, it's a good way to pass information. Sometimes it's misinformation, but at least it's communicating. And like Bonnie said, this is not a DPPOA page, but it's a lot of this, honestly, from here. But it's a community thing, so it applies to the other Drum Point people that are not part of the actual Drum Point property
Does
owner.
anybody in this room know about it? Have you heard about it? Oh, okay, people, there's something like, close to 400 members now or something?
Yeah, I think we're 450.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Is it Drum Point Neighborhood Class B, is that what it is?
It's just Drum Point neighborhood.
But
You
it
have to answer a few questions.
we just want to make sure people live in Drum Point.
Yeah.
So.
It's nice too, because if there's something fishy going on, you alert more
Yeah,
people, you
there's
can be more
crime,
aware.
there's some crime issues that we do have in the community, unfortunately, and those are debated and talked about, alerted, people are alerted. It just runs the gamut, anything you want to talk about. Almost. Almost.
I had to delete a few, but.
And I mentioned misinformation. Typically what that is people assume that page is a DPPOA, and so they'll raise things that should be raised in official business with either through RIA or through the association. And I watch it, and so if I see something like that, I'll just point out that you need to contact us. Not, the forum can't do that on Facebook.
Yeah, and if you see something like a car driving, racing through your neighborhood or doing donuts or whatever, if they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, call the sheriff, because we call DPPOA, we don't have any teeth for that. You need to call the sheriff if you see something that's not right.
But the Facebook page is a good place to find out those kinds of activities
Yeah.
that you wouldn't otherwise know about.
I think last year, didn't you have people posting pictures that they took, which was kind of neat to see too?
Yeah.
Different perspective.
That's a very nice community activity.
Yeah. It's good community communication. Like Asha said, if there's something that's an important issue or a critical or emergency, don't do it on Facebook. Call the sheriff, call 911, call whatever. But this is just a good way for us to communicate with about other things.
I think word is getting out because I'm not getting those phone calls like I used to. Somebody was speeding last night on Beretta. Well, last night, okay. I'm not getting as many of those. I think people are beginning to realize I can't do anything about it.
The Facebook page is a good place to at least alert people that these things are happening.
Right.
Not that they're going to do anything about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Kurt Larson is our basically nominating committee chair because we have to make sure we've got the board filled. So Kurt?
Yeah, well, basically, the committee consists of me and Nancy Reary and Libby Ball. And each year we have basically a renewal of 3 positions on the board. This year, the 3 openings are the incumbents wish to be reconsidered or re-enlisting for another 3 years. And so that's where we stand at this point, and it's a question of whether there are nominations from the floor for other possibilities, or what the board may choose to do.
Can you name the names?
Well, yes, we have Maggie, we have Jenny, and we have Mike, who are going to be wish to be re-enlisted. We used to say shift for 6, we don't say shift for 6. They're just going to do it for 3 years if they choose.
Okay, are there any nominations from the floor? Is there a motion to approve that slate by acclamation?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor, raise your hand. One vote per house. All opposed? Okay, that passes then. That saves us having to mail, saves us actually quite a bit of money over having to mail out ballots and all that stuff, so you've got your victims for next year. Next 3 years. Okay, thank you, Kurt. All right, I'll open it up to for public comment, questions, presentations.
I
Yes,
just have a paving question, because Creed Drive is up for this year. Do we just get a notification about when it's going to happen and?
yeah.
I
know
send
we-
letters out to everybody that's
Okay.
along the route being paved.
Okay. And are you able to get in and out still, or do we have to
You can
move our
still get
cars?
in and out. Try not to drive on it if you don't have to.
Okay.
But you can very shortly after they put the asphalt down, if you're very, slow and what have you. You're not locked into your house,
Okay,
so it shouldn't be much of an issue. We'll be putting signs out as well.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, there may be cases where, it may be one-way traffic for a while, just, you'll have to control that. Usually, it hasn't really been a problem, but
Okay,
this time, there are a couple of cases where they could have done a better job with their flagman or something. So if you see problems like that, let us know, and we'll try to get on top of that. Or sometimes, some of the neighborhoods have, multiple ways to get in and out, so,
Cree is,
yeah, I know.
and then the beach is blocked,
I know,
you're
that's-
really stuck with
Yeah.
it.
You won't be trapped.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, hi, my name's Steve. I have a lot over on Cove that is not built on yet. And one of the adjacent properties is just an extreme eyesore. They've got massive amount of debris, boats, campers, trailers, and most of it's parked in the right of way, not even on their property.
On Cove?
It's on Blue Jay. It's the corner of
Oh.
Dove, I'm sorry, Dove and Blue Jay. I say Cove, I'm sorry.
Coincidentally, I was there, you talked about, I took pictures.
I took pictures this morning.
Yeah, it's,
It's bad, and I talked to the gentleman when I first purchased the property, and he said, oh, I'll move the boat and everything. Well, since then, he's added several more items there. I mean, there's motors, there's trash.
yeah,
It's basically a junkyard. And I was just wanting to know if you guys can do something about that, because my lot's got no value.
Well, if they're parked
They're in
in
the
the
right.
right of way or on the street, if they're on the street, we have to go to the sheriff. If it's on the right of way, we can ask them to move their vehicle.
Blue Jay is a road, and it doesn't continue through, it doesn't go anywhere once it reaches the corner of Dove.
Right.
So, but these are parks, I mean, I've got dozens of pictures to show you if you'd like to see them, but everything, right in the middle of the road. And originally I bought the property to build my daughter a house there. Because of finances and the economy, she can't afford it, so I need to sell the lot. I couldn't get anybody to look at it. They come in, turn around, and leave, they don't even come on. It's pretty bad. The options that I'd like to oppose is if you guys can't get it cleared out and have it done, possibly I can purchase it. And I can have it cleaned out, and I can put a fence up on the property line, blocking.
Purchase what?
Purchase the right of way.
Oh,
Okay. There's a couple in here that have been purchased over the years. There's one over on Perrin Drive that was purchased.
Well, there's a little bit of background on that. We used to be, the board used to, I don't want to say be able, because it may have been a violation, but because our bylaws actually require that the sale or purchase of property be approved by the membership,
Right.
not by the board.
Right.
And at one time, the board was actually issuing things like quitclaims for things like right-of-way. if we felt like it was something we could give away or sell. Well, then the membership said, no, you can't do that. It's, you're violating the bylaws. So now we're back to the situation where the only thing we can actually quit claim are things like riparian rights, because we're not really giving away property. So in order for you, I can't say you can't do it, but in order for you to do it, you would have to provide us with, some kind of survey or plat that describes the property. We would have to have some kind of assessment on what it's worth and, or an offer or whatever. We'd have to get all that stuff put together and have to get that out to the membership. If you're really serious about it, we could try to do it before the next meeting.
Okay, I have to do something because the lot's got no value, it's zero, nobody even looked at it.
Where's your lots exactly? You go down
It's the
Blue
corner of
Jay.
Blue Jay and Dove, so if you go down Blue Jay
Okay, skip
and Dove turns
to the
it's
right.
that corner of Blue Jay and Dove on the
Okay.
right side.
Okay, so you turn on Dove, you're the guy on the right?
You turn on Dove on the first house, on the left.
On the
It's
left.
The left.
Okay.
If you turn on Dove,
Okay,
right behind Bernie Shays' house.
I do,
Bernie
okay.
Shays'
Yeah, I've
house.
seen behind Bernie, yeah.
Okay, it's right behind Bernie.
Okay,
But,
Unless
I mean,
it's-
it's
yeah.
gotten to the point where I gotta do something with it. I just can't hold a piece of land, it's have no value.
Well, it's gonna be a process that you're gonna have to
Understand.
work on. We'll work with you as much as we can. And I would say, if it's a situation where we don't need that right away for either like utility easements or access or something like that, then it may be possible. But again, we'd have to have the details and everything, be able to get that to the membership and, ask for a vote on it.
Yeah, I can get a survey company to come out and plot it
Yeah,
and give you, I've done the preliminary, I've gone through everything myself and looked at it and measured everything up and seen how much land it is.
yeah.
Value-wise, I don't know what it's valued at, because it's, by itself, it's really, there's nothing you can do with it other than have it right away.
Right.
If you join it with mine, then I can.
Well, you could combine it with, your, an adjacent lot or something.
Right,
like that.
my lot
Yeah.
is the only adjacent lot on this side.
Right.
All the neighbors on this side have it, but that would really do damage if they got it. Because they would just spread their junk out even further.
But aside from that, we can try to approach them, to get them to move vehicles and things like that off the right of way. We don't have too many teeth in that, but we can try. The only other way that, and sadly, well, it's actually mixed, I guess, mixed feelings. Because you get the, what people refer to as the Gestapo Association that define what color your door can be and all that kind of stuff. And we're not there. But on the other hand, sometimes I think we don't have enough teeth
Right.
where we can enforce things like, just basic
These are all part of the
appearance
road.
standards or something, The only exception to that is if it gets to the point where it becomes, or could be a health issue, then we can get the county in. If it's a health issue or a zoning issue, we can get the county. Again, that's a long drawn out process. They, they'll issue citations and stuff like that, but,
If they don't
it
pay
can take a
them,
while.
right, if they don't do anything with them, there's really nothing they can do to them.
Right. But if you're smelling stuff, or if you're seeing garbage piled up or something like that,
This
then.
is trash, but it's not household trash, it's motors and metal
Yeah, I know.
and junk and boat parts, there's like, I've got a dozen pictures I can show you, there's just, it's a junkyard.
Well, unfortunately, it's sad that people do that, but, yeah. And yours is not the only place. There
Oh,
are
I know
other-
it's not, but mine.
There are others that,
But mine's affecting me, because
oh, I know.
I got a value, I got zero value in my lot. I
Yeah.
can't even give it, I couldn't give it away.
Right.
But, that's one.
Well, start that process with us
Okay.
and we'll,
I will get a surveyor down there, plot it out, the markers are there. There is their marker for the corner lot is there, and all three of the two boats and the trailer are on the right of way, they're in the road. Well, the boat's parked in the road, on the blacktop.
On the blacktop,
It's on blacktop.
on the asphalt, so it's actually on a.
It's on the asphalt, yeah.
Okay, well that, that we can report to the sheriff, and, because people are not allowed to park, in the street. It's not for any, reasonable length of time.
The problem with that though is that they're not blocking access.
To
Because
anybody
there
else
is.
inside of the woods. This here is the marker. It's marked. This trailer, that boat, and that boat are actually on the boat. This boat's on the blacktop. But these two are still parked.
Oh.
I mean, that's just,
It's been a
We
while.
thought-
It's been paved.
that's behind the boats. And on the blacktop.
So on their property as well?
I'm sorry.
Is some of this on their actual
Yes,
property as well?
yes. Oh, the litter, yeah.
Yeah, they have
So
higher
They're
that's
gonna
gonna-
cover.
That's gonna still affect your property value.
Right, I know, that's why I was
But we,
thinking of.
is that something we can't do anything about, though, is that correct?
But you're still next to them and they're gonna
Well, if
have.
they're
But if I obtain the
Yeah,
property,
we can take it on our own
privacy
property.
fence up, it'll block 99%, if you only see the tops of the bed sheds and stuff there.
See if you can send us, things like the pictures, we can use that to try to communicate with them, tell them to move stuff, or to communicate with the sheriff, if it's, on this, leaving stuff on the road.
It's right on the road.
No, I know,
Well, and I can also report to zoning enforcement if it's an unlawful accumulation of trash, I think is what the ordinance says. But their idea of accumulation is not, the same as ours, but I can certainly report it.
yeah, Steve, send us what you can of documenting the pile up of trash and everything.
Right.
Like Rhea said, we can try zoning enforcement, see if they can do anything
And
about it.
if we can get this on the June agenda, I just checked the bylaws, and it says that it's up to the board whether it's at a duly called meeting or a membership mail ballot. So if you want to be on the June agenda, let me know as soon as possible that you're ready.
I do. I'll get it ready.
Okay, make sure you confirm it, that you're, got it all, and so because it needs to go, in the newsletter, that's where we announce what's on the agenda.
Yeah, 'cause we
And
can't
if
do
there's a
it,
vote, we have to announce that.
even if we put it on the agenda, if we don't get a quorum
Right.
at that meeting, then, we're still stuck. We have to wait for the next meeting. But, so if you do it, beat on your neighbors' doors and try to get them to the meeting.
Oh, all these neighbors that are in
And
that
the fact-
cul-de-sac are all having them.
It will be, if we get it on the agenda, it will also go out to everybody and it will say, we need the community to either approve or deny this request.
A lot of people.
So maybe that'll help get some people.
Steve, maybe I've been asleep or something. What is it that you really want to do? You want to put up a fence?
What I really want to do is just get the trash.
Oh, well.
Get the trash out of there so I can sell them.
I'd love to be a million and
I
be as
know.
strong as I am
But-
at 21, but, but what is it that you realistically would like?
Realistically, I want to do is to have them remove the debris and
Okay.
somehow we just put up a fence and block it so I can't see it.
Put up a fence.
Or
Along
trees,
What
or
line?
if-
Along what line?
Along, well, it'd have to be on his side of the property, behind his property between that and then the drive area, the right of way.
So the
If it's on my side, it isn't gonna do me any good.
So the fence would not be,
It would have, right, if I obtain the right of way, I can put the fence on the property line between the two lots. But since the right of way is there, I can't. Unless you can approve a fence between the two.
Well, he wants, as I understand it, you want that additional buffer, if you will, between your property and his, so that you can put a fence and block that off.
Put a fence, yeah, so I can put a fence on this side.
Right.
If I can get a fence on this side through the association, then I don't care about the land. I just want to be able to block that
It
view off.
would be helpful to have a diagram of what exactly you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
I think there's some
Well,
discrepancy.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would be helpful, because.
I have a semi.
Great. So
He could, I think what he's,
This is my lot right here. This is the house in question.
across the
Right, this Blue Jay ends right here. There's nothing here that Blue Jay connects to. There's actually trees laying across the road here.
So you want to put a fence where?
Here, on this property. Because this is all, this is where all the debris is. It's all right here. I mean, it's,
There's two houses that have
And there's a right
that,
of
both
way.
of those houses have that.
Well,
same-
look.
yeah, the blue
We're not
house,
gonna
I
solve,
can,
we're not gonna solve it here, so
Yeah,
let's
okay.
get this process started.
Right.
And,
sure. The blue house
Sal, did you have
is
a
nasty too,
comment or
but it's
question?
not right on my property. Okay.
Is it because of our
That's okay.
bylaws, we don't have any teeth in this, or is it like Calvert County, don't, like, why is it we can't?
The covenants don't provide any teeth
Okay,
to, you know,
I was just curious.
to be able to
Yeah.
enforce.
And if the neighbor had an emergency or anything like that, can the EMTs get?
Yeah, the problem is that we're never gonna go anywhere. That
Well,
we're
that's
not gonna
what-
go to any particular
Yeah,
house.
that's all the questions we need to answer once we get a description of the property that he proposes to purchase, and then decide, you know, is it gonna block off emergency access or anything like that?
Right.
Anything else? Okay, thanks for coming out. Thanks again to Sal, that was tremendous.
Yeah, that was really good.